Well, howdy do, everybody. I'm kind of doing a fun side segment of my Ignarisms called the Ignarist Drunklosophy. And I'm saying that because I get a little tipsy and I'm just going to let you know all that. And I have a friend with us today. I think you know who it may be.
What's up?
Yeah, it looks like a Metal TK, but what does that say down there in the corner? I think it says the soap shill. Yeah, because it looks like it looks like you got the shit beat out of you.
Oh.
What were you? It looks like you're trying to offer soap to the audience. Is there, you got like a little side thing going on or something like that? I mean, what's going on here?
It's Johnson's No More Tears soap, man. You know, and I used
But
that
it
Ozzy
says
Osbourne song. You know, to
Is
like
it is it
endorse
the
with.
is it the Zootopia signature brand? I mean, it kind of looked like it looked like it didn't really work out for you. I mean, you got you so fucked up. You're smoking a cigarette in there. You know, I mean, that smoke.
That's not a cigarette.
Oh, that's a joint.
Yeah.
Oh, you just got you one of those legal tobacco cigarettes. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Wink, wink.
Let's just say that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just obscure. You know what I'm saying? So. Anyway, we got.
It's okay. I got permission from Nick Wilde. He said it's cool.
Yeah, but in all reality, I really
Use his
don't.
likeness.
In all reality, I don't know who the artist is, but I liked the thing, and I found it, and I was bored, and I couldn't find anything else in this time frame. Anyway, we're gonna be. We got a couple different videos we were gonna do, but I'm gonna do them just in little batches this time, because why not? This one's just going to be about Kyle Kulinski and his Fox News debate. Because he, in his breakdown, so here's how we're going to do it. We're going to watch his video, which is going to be in his breakdown, which will pop up right after this. And then we're going to give our breakdown, and we'll kind of hear off his breakdown and kind of how we feel about it. So that's basically it. Nothing really to it. And these are in multiple batches. You know what? I don't even feel like I want to do these in batches because I have multiple. You know what? Do we want to do these in batches or do we just want to do this in one go? Just do them all at once.
We could do it in one go.
You know what? I'm going to do it. All right. I have other links because I'm also going to be talking about Alex Jones as well. So we'll talk about him too in this. I think that'll just be simpler, honestly. It's simpler. I don't know why I want to make it complicated. Do like 50 videos. Uploads quicker, but meh. This makes it more fun, more entertaining for the audience. Anyway, here is Kyle's video. And honestly, this is great. This is also really great. And we'll probably stop in between to give our own breakdown here. Because in the meantime, I will be loading some smoking drunken. But here we go. Enjoy.
Come back, and I'll give you my breakdown.
If the Democrats get in, they're going to raise your taxes. You're going to have crime all over the place. You're going to have people pouring across the border. So why would that be a blue wave? I think it could be a red wave. I tell you what, really, I think it should be a red wave.
There's the prediction. President Trump last night in Ohio campaigning a special election for the House of Representatives that takes place on Tuesday. Ahead of the midterms, the president says he will be on the trail almost every day. Here to discuss, talk radio panel, Chris Stigall on the left, Kyle Kulinski on the right. You will soon learn
Oh,
that
look
that
at
is
my
not
boy
where their
Kyle
political
Kulinski right
positions
there.
are, but that is
Damn,
where they
he's
are
looking
on the television
spanking.
screen. All right, Chris,
The guy to the left of
I'm
him looks like a smarmy asshole. Like, look at his smug sneer.
Oh, you got me there, boy.
He's like a fucking comic book villain.
Dude, I forgot who this Fox host name was. What was his name again? I don't even give a shit.
Let's call him faggot, because that's what he looks. He looks like a sexually repressed, closeted homosexual who's like raised in a Catholic family. So probably under his tie, he's got like these purity pearls. It's like, I'm not gay. I'm not gay. I'm gonna pray to Jesus. Oh,
we're not.
how do we say that in unison?
No, let's try it again. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. Here,
Okay.
hold on. You hear that? That's the sign of a Mike's Harder mango, nigga. And I'm gonna chug this before we begin unison.
He
okay?
likes the fruity drinks.
Are you ready?
At a count of ein, zwei, dreis, vier.
I'm not gay.
I'll pray to Jesus. God, that was bad. You're like
Damn.
repeating everything I was saying.
That was bad, dude.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, okay. Wow, it's already kicking in.
The president seems to feel as though he's got a winning strategy here in saying that Democrats are too far to the left to be part of the mainstream for
No, they're not.
traditional crossover voters. Winning strategy?
Oh, I don't know, but I'm a fat thumb fuck of a man, and I think this is my conservative, typical radio opinion, so
think he has to say it. I think we just have to listen to them. I mean, this chaos that you've been reporting on this weekend that went on in Portland with the ICE facility there. With
Shout out.
candidates in New York calling ICE agents Nazis and calling for the shutdown of ICE. The Sarah Jong woman, who's now an editorial board member of the New York Times, calling out, whites and white men particularly, and making some really despicable comments. I mean, they're truly unhinged in a way we've never seen. I don't think Trump has to do much heavy lifting, frankly. Let them do all the talking.
Kyle, should moderate Democrats worry about this far left push?
No, I think that the far left is actually the way for Democrats to win, believe it or not. So when you look at the polls and you look at all the substantive policy issues, the American people overwhelmingly support Medicare for all, for example. They overwhelmingly support free college. They overwhelmingly want to end the wars. So when you go issue for issue, the American people are actually with the far left. And in fact, President Trump, when he ran in 2016, stole some of those issues. He ran against the wars. He ran against the trade deals. So if anything,
and Kyle, you might have a point. He also said he wasn't going to touch any of the entitlements, Social Security
That's
or
right.
or Medicare.
He's on
you
to
make a
me.
good point in terms of where the Democratic Party is
Indeed.
heading. There's a lot of Democratic
just lost
socialists
that
beginning,
fucking smug
in
sneer.
New York that have started to knock folks off. Longtime Democrats. Tuesday's primary in
Kyle, that
Missouri,
shit
Cory
eating
Bush,
grin.
Democratic
I love it.
Socialist, taking on Lacey Clay, longtime Democratic congressman. There comes a question, though, in terms of how palatable across the board these folks are, not just in primaries. Interview with Cory Bush from about 2 weeks ago, and then we'll get your guys' reaction. Roll it. The wealthy should pay their fair share.
Yes, wealthy should pay their fair share.
What is a fair share? What percentage?
So you're saying that you're saying that they're paying their fair share is what you're saying.
No, I'm asking what percentage is a fair share?
Their fair share, the same, if a third of my money is going to taxes, then I think a third of their money should be going to taxes.
It does.
Well, it does.
I'm trying to understand because you realize the
She's really
effective tax
fumbling the
rate
questions,
on
basically, what's
the
going
poor
on.
is less than it is on the rich, right?
Okay, so first of all, I'm not the poor. I'm
To be
very
honest,
close to
this-
that
I
line, but
mean,
I'm not the poor.
Okay, so
The
the effective
substance
tax
of what
rate
she's
on-
trying
the
to talk
effective tax
about
rate on
is
the middle
important,
class,
but
okay,
is less than it is on
she
the rich,
is.
correct?
She obviously looks like she was cut off guard and kind of fucked it all
What
up.
fair share would
this
you
is kinda
like to
summary
change
of
the
it.
tax rate to?
I mean, Kyle
on
actually
the
tried
wealthiest
to make
what
the
percentage
point
of
that,
Americans? So it's a fair share.
yeah, she fucked
So
up,
let's
but
say the
it's
wealthy
the
1%
policy and the
could
substance
pay-
of what she was talking about.
Let's say if they paid, let's just give them 45%.
Basically, what's going on?
Kyle, is that the future of the Democrat?
Hold on, dude. Look at him, dude. He's like,
I'm gonna take some notes about this liberal socialist. I want to do talking point narratives.
Oh no, like earlier,
I'm a fat fuck thumb of a man.
dude, like earlier, the look on his face, like at first, he had like this disapproving look, like, oh, I can't believe I missed the opportunity to get the last
This
jelly
is what-
donut.
This is what true socialism looks like.
But then, like, and then he started getting like a puppy
Is this
dog.
communism?
Wait, let me finish. He started getting this
I
puppy
know.
dog look because somebody must have like waved a fucking Twinkie in front of his face,
like,
and then they
calm down,
smashed it on the
boy.
fucking ground.
Calm
like,
down, boy. It's
here.
okay. Here, you
You
want
don't
your
get your
Twinkie?
fucking
It's
Twinkie.
okay. You'll get your Twinkie. Just calm down, boy. Do you want your Twinkie? Do you want your Twinkie? What's his name? Chris Stigall?
He looked like a little
Dude, he
fat
looks
ass
like
puppy
a
dog.
botched Steven Seagal clone that went bald.
Oh damn! And just decided to like. Okay, he looks like a cross between Steven Seagal, Jabba the Hutt, and Chris Christie.
Damn, I don't even know what to say to that.
But under chemotherapy because of how cancerous he naturally fucking looks.
Damn. All right. Well, let's hear what Kyle has to say.
Democratic Party?
I hope it's the future of the Democratic
Okay.
Party. Jeff Bezos has over $100 billion at the same time that we have 60,000 homeless veterans in this country and 400,000 homeless Americans. And the American people, again, to go to the polls, overwhelmingly want to raise taxes on the rich, overwhelmingly want to raise taxes on Wall Street and corporations. I'm
Correct,
talking about 58% of Americans. So if your strategy is to defend the rich, by all means, go right ahead.
Chris, and I'm guessing you just really hope that Cory Bush is the future of the Democratic Party.
Oh, these mathematicians are brilliant. This Alicia Ocasio-Cortez, before her.
Alexandria
these are
Ocasio-Cortez,
wonderful
by the way, you
spokespeople.
fuck.
As I said in the open, let them keep talking. By the way, it's not like we're talking
It's your
math and
own
economics with them
undoing,
most
you
of the
dumb
time,
bitch.
although when they do, that's pretty golden. We're still talking about radical fringe stuff. Abolishing ICE, abolishing
Oh yeah,
law
totally
enforcement.
radical.
Wait, did you hear that?
It's totally radical to take on the pragmatic policies that the rest of the fucking industrial modern nations are doing. Yeah.
Guess what he said after that?
About radical fringe stuff. Abolishing ICE, abolishing law enforcement.
Abolishing law enforcement. Why are you making things up? That's
You
made
just
up.
made
You
that
just
up.
made that up. Who says abolish
Did
law
I?
enforcement? Yes, you did.
Well,
You just
oh,
made that up.
man.
Who said abolish
Is
law
ICE not-
enforcement? Nobody. You did.
Excuse me, is ICE not law enforcement?
Customs and Border Protection already protects
That's called
the border.
police
ICE was created in
brutality.
2000.
Yeah, but ICE isn't even law enforcement. It's just it's immigration and
It
customs.
violates the 13th Amendment or
enforcement.
the 14th Amendment. Which one is the one that declares that anyone born in the United States is like an
I think
actual
it's the 14th
citizen?
or maybe the 15th
You like-
Amendment. I forgot. I don't know.
Either way, that actually contradicts that.
Yeah, it's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, it was made in 2003 under the Bush administration, and Kyle makes this point later on. So it's just unnecessary, more authoritarian agency that, is already doing what Customs and Border Protection is set in place to do. It's just a more authoritarian nature.
Look at faggot right in the middle. Look at faggot. He's lost his grin. At first he's giving them like this patronizing, like, oh yeah, let the dumb liberal talk, and now he's just like, oh fuck.
Yeah, but look at him.
He's like, this liberal's on to me.
Yeah, they're
2003,
afraid
and by the
of
way,
losing the
they're
debate.
What fake news agenda is he doing for the Democrats?
And he does like, look at him. He does like that effeminate. He like scowls at him.
Well then again, I did blink on him.
Allegations
pause.
I'm literally doing
Kyle,
slavery.
Kyle,
Proven in a court of law.
fellas, one second. And Kyle, you made a point about polling. Ending ICE or abolishing ICE does not play well in polls in the heartland. That is not a popular thing in Michigan, in Ohio, and in Missouri.
That's correct, but that's because we need to make the argument. And for example, like I just referenced before I was being talked over, there are allegations of literal slavery happening at private prisons run by ICE. You're laughing. It was in the Washington Post. It's been proven.
Oh, for God's
It was
sake.
proven
You know
in a court of law.
Okay.
A court of law proved that there's merit.
I'm still trying to figure out how we got from there to here. We will dissect that in the post-mortem. Meantime, fellas, we got to run. It was great having you both on here.
Wow.
Look it up. I'm correct.
Because
You're
we need to
absolutely correct.
silence
All right,
Kyle
Chris,
before he
Kyle,
actually says
thank you.
anything of
Appreciate it,
substance.
fellas.
Yeah, so like I said, I had more fun this time around than last time around.
Well, fuck.
Murked. He just fucking murked them.
And myself.
Oh yeah, you murked yourself.
Yeah, I just took a fat hit.
You're getting crossfaded, aren't
and
you?
Took a fat chug of that drink.
I hope you're going to be able to speak eloquently.
That doesn't matter. It's drunk philosophy. It's drunklosophy.
Oh, that's right. Actually, that's part of the show then.
Yes. Because I did it last time, so
Am
why
I going to
not?
be the only sober person here?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Well, we bought for to each other. I mean, go right ahead,
I'll take a gulp.
Go right ahead, my friend. Anyway, so how'd you feel about it, though? I mean, while you're doing that, I'll say how I feel. I honestly did think Kyle did a great job. I thought he did what he could to pull out the issues. The other guy wasn't very too disruptive. Of course, it's Fox News, so they're going to disrupt a liberal.
Disrupt the liberal. Don't make him say his point so we can say straw man.
Well, the fat You know, the fat bitch actually was talking over him for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. It was not too bad. It wasn't as bad as last time. Like, he actually was able to say some good points. You know, I thought it went very well. Also, I don't really got too much to say other than I thought it went really well. He pushed the policy positions, or at least talked about substance that was good. Talked about homelessness, which is a definitely very big problem, especially urban cities, including in Portland, Dallas, Los Angeles, especially, like, all over the country. I mean, that's a big problem. So, you know, he pulled out some good issues that, you know, even conservatives are going to look like, oh, wow, he did not give a fuck. This liberal savage, I'm going to try to look him up. So, I mean, even though he might get, like, a slightly negative light to a lot of people who watch Fox News, it's good. It's good that he's on here getting that coverage and getting this notoriety. That's what I think about it. I think this is good. I hope he gets on for a third time.
Yeah, and
Even
it's interesting that they invited him over.
I kind of, it's kind of weird. Like, MSNBC didn't invite him, like CNN didn't. You would think that a more liberal mainstream media organization would, but Fox is doing it. And actually, he makes an interesting point. So let's kind of hear what his background is. And I'll speed this part a little up because there's like 20 minutes worth of like him talking about it.
There were fireworks, but I actually enjoyed the fireworks. It makes you feel like alive and focused and sharp and ready to respond. So let's break this down. The elephant in the room is obviously the Cori Bush clip. So when they played that clip, let me be clear up front. Yeah, it's obvious that she fumbled that question. Like, it's not...
Yeah.
The point is so obvious that I didn't even feel the need to give a nod to that point because the clip speaks for itself. And honestly, I think if you talk to Cori Bush, in a moment of sheer honesty, she'll tell you, yeah, I fumbled that question. I didn't answer that question well. Now, there perhaps may have been a little bit of misleading Fox News editing in there. There was a cut at a peculiar point. I don't know if you guys caught that, but if you go back and check it out, you can see it. And I don't want to throw Cori Bush under the bus overall because I think the point to stress...
it was a very... that clip that they played, if you really look at it, was pretty... I honestly think the clip was partially taken out of context. Maybe not entirely, but the clip wasn't given enough time to give her full explanation because obviously it's something that she's deeply thinking about. And, you know, when it comes to economics and taxes and shit, it is a pretty difficult thing to talk about because there's a lot of complexity into it.
It's a very complex topic.
Yeah.
And not only that, there's several contributing factors.
Yeah, I mean, you can say what the solutions are to a lot of problems like redistributing wealth, increasing taxes on corporations and the rich. Like, you can say shit like that, oh, blah, blah, blah. But what's the details on how you're going to do it, you know? Like, I mean, and I don't have the details to the solution, but that's why we have economists and people who, you know, understand the problem better to deal with the details of it. You know what I mean?
Not only that, but those journalists and those interviewers will purposely try to catch somebody off guard.
Yeah. Oh, of course. They're paid to do that. They're paid to catch people off guard and do like straw man or steel man, depending on.
But I have to say, nowadays in this political climate, if you are publicly pushing for certain policies and you get your name out there, you should be ready at some point. Like, you should study like the shit out of everything you know
like Kyle
that you're pushing for.
Like Kyle.
That's why Kyle is he's like a cat. He's always quick on his feet. I guess if this makes any sense, he's verbally agile.
Yeah, that makes sense a little bit. Yeah, and also he's really swift and he's able to understand the substance enough to at least think enough about it to, you know, not just make this impulsive, oh shit, blah, blah. He's like, hold on, let's think more about the complexities and the nuances of this issue. Like he just goes instantly straight to that. And, you know, I'm influenced a lot by his way of thinking because I think like that a lot. Like I kind of did naturally, but it kind of honed it in a lot more because he thought like that. And when he ever kind of described how he thought, Kyle, I would just be like, oh, you know, that makes sense. So then I kind of started implementing that on myself in my own time, and I was just like, oh, that makes sense. All right, you know. And over time, it kind of helped me develop my way of thinking. So, you know, that's why I think he's probably one of the best on YouTube, despite our agreements, disagreements, etc. And there's a lot of people in various different views and ideologies that do agree if I believe in him and shit.
Well, I definitely agree with the majority of what he has to say.
Oh yeah,
And the policies that he always was talking about they allured me. They didn't just allure me, but like of course I agree with that. But on top of that, the real substance of what I'm trying to say is he did also create a big influence, and the way that he would say it too. He told you he kind of showed me, probably without even knowing it, that you could still be, you could still use the same tactic as a lot of the, the biased people out there that'll be on either extreme of the sides, but and really ram in the point, because he does it kind of aggressively, very aggressively at times.
Because he's somebody who, when he knows he's right, he's gonna push that, and he's going to be aggressive on it.
What I like is
when he the Chris Stegall, whatever, or the botched Steven Seagal clone, basically.
Yeah.
When he was making the straw man arguments like you want to abolish ICE, abolish law enforcement, blah, blah, blah.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just like Kyle was aggressive. It's like, no, wait, what? Who abolished law enforcement? Who said that? You made that up. You made that up.
Yeah.
You made that up.
He called him out for his straw man. But
straw man.
But yeah.
Yeah.
He's able to be aggressive, but the thing that I like about him is that he has the evidence to back up his claim. It's not just some baseless claim, like, what Donald Trump in that stupid fucking speech was saying, like, oh, well, when the Democrats come, they just, they send all the immigrants in and all the crime goes up, and it's like he doesn't have any evidence, to support that stupid ass statement. And it's obvious he's just saying what was on a paper in front of him, or a fucking teleprompter, probably a speech that was written for him,
or just shooting off the cuff and knowing that his base likes it, so he says it.
Yeah, this is how he became president. He just told what his what his audience and his voters wanted to hear, without even supporting half of the policies that he promised for.
Was the point that I did stress there, which is her overarching point is undeniably true. See, if they came back from that clip and asked me about it, and my immediate reaction was, yeah, you're right, she fumbled that question. Now, what I would be saying is, stylistically, she fumbled it, but the main point is, substantively, she's actually correct. But if they come back from that clip and I say, yeah, she fumbled that question, that's it. Everybody in the Fox News audience shuts their brain off and goes, aha, see, so Cori Bush is a bad candidate. Her message is obviously wrong. In other words, there's a lot that goes hand in hand with making that point up front. And it's actually a brilliant propaganda trick, a clever propaganda trick, the way that they presented that. Because it's not like they steel man their opponent.
Loves clever propaganda tricks.
Yeah. Well, especially Republicans, they love to market ideas. Now, I support an open market of ideas because I don't believe in censorship. Censorship is Satan, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, it's the closest thing
I want to compare it
to a physical form of Satan.
I want to compare it to Satan, but that's just me being an atheist situation.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give an example. It's just... So I support an open market of ideas, but that should also mean that the people that are trying to call them out with marketing these ideas should also have a right to say what their piece without being silenced.
Which goes into a topic later.
Indeed.
But yeah, to go further in, let's make another example about these clever propaganda tricks. Think about immigration, for example. They always like to cry, oh, the cartels and the immigrants and MS-13, they're all illegals, and, they're coming to take our jobs and ruin this country.
Except the one thing that's letting that happen is the fact that we have way too much drug prohibition.
Yeah, there's a drug war going on, which increases the black market on drugs,
Legalize marijuana,
which
increases gone.
Yeah, and then that increases the drug cartels industry in the black market, which increases their profits, which increases the control and corruption in Mexico and the Latin American countries, which does create a crisis in Latin America and Mexico especially, which causes immigration problem, which also creates a very good shadow and a little blanket for the cartels to be under to hide in and make a scapegoat. So it blames everybody.
Yeah, you make
Like-
millionaires out of criminals. What do you think happened in the alcohol prohibition era? The mafia became rich and powerful.
Yeah, like I was
We're
even
just repeating it.
I showed one of my more my conservative uncle Robert, who's on my stream sometimes. You know, he'll be smoking some bowls and just be in the background and shit on my live streams or shit on my phone in my garage or whatever. And you know, there's some things that we talk about and stuff. And I showed him this clip, and I was talking about it, and I was talking about immigration, and I think he understood more about immigration because it's not really a big deal as people make it out to be. It's because the right does this clever propaganda trick of making it seem like this big problem than it really is. So we have to build a wall, believe me, instead of like ending the drug war, which perpetuates the problem even worse, and thus, you know, helping, you know, maybe it won't solve the problem, but it will make the problem far less of an issue. And it's not even really that big of an issue anyway, because I think if I last remember, there were actually immigrants leaving the country, net leaving, more than entering. Like, there's still some that entered.
Especially the Chicanos, man. They are leaving in the droves. Now, occasionally, you know, you still will see, you know, Chicano families. Like, I have one that lives across, you know, the street from my house. I think it's like a Section 8 house, you know. But aside from that, there aren't as many as you see Slavic immigrants, Chinese, Korean. You see more of those types of immigrants now, more than ever.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, also, you just see more of, like, when it comes to immigration, like, I've seen also a lot of Russians, especially around here, so...
Tons of Slavics. Actually, I worked with a couple of people in
Slavics.
this, you know, machine shop, and there were quite a few Slavic people. Like, I worked with a Slavic man named Konstantin, another one named, like, Peter...
Yeah, there's, in my work, there's a lot of Latino people, but there's also one guy who's obviously Russian, but he goes by Alan. But his real name is Oleg. I found that out. And it's like some random Russian last name that I don't even understand.
But you know, there are more Chinese people over there, like where I was working.
Oh,
and also, like, when I take the Max, when I'm in Pioneer Square, there are tons of Korean as well as Chinese immigrants.
Yeah, and also, when I used to go to Southeast Portland for school, it's in smack dab in the middle of, like, the Chinese neighborhoods. There's a lot of, or at least the Asian community, because there's a lot of Asians, like Vietnamese, Chinese, Korean people out in this area.
Yeah,
so,
there are more of them than there are Chicanos nowadays.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you, like, honestly, there's no real major immigration crisis. It's just that there's other problems that perpetrate another issue, which, you know, makes it just a bigger problem than it already is. In fact, it's other issues that makes it worse. It's not that very issue itself.
So my, I guess what I'd call him, like, my father-in-law, Rogelio, you know, of course, yeah, he's Mexican, but he came here legally. He became a teacher, and you know, he's the father of my sister's husband. You know, and he was an excellent father, you know, works for a living. He's a good example of baby boomer men, which I don't know, maybe it's just my bias.
Baby boomer men.
But I really think that that's pretty hard to come by these days. Like, you know, I'll be very begrudging towards baby boomer men, because, you know, they probably might
baby boomer men.
Because I have never in my life, you know, other than like well-to-do, you know, wealthier families, maybe not like wealthy in the sense of lavishly rich, but, you know, middle class, I have always, because like the ones, you know, that are more low income, they're just assholes, you know, and they didn't actually support their families, and they would fuck up by like drinking excessively.
Yeah, I was just about to say, could it be potentially that it could be like the pharmaceutical industry exploiting them for, like, you know, pushing pills so they get addicted to drugs, and then they, you know, having terrible chronic back pains, and drinking a bunch, you know, cures their problems, and they have domestic abuse because, you know, they can't afford to pay for their children, you know, and their family and shit, and they got bills.
Possibly.
I mean, there's a lot of, like, do you think it could be the exploitation that happens between the lower classes
it's not
and the poverty?
Always. That could be it. But I think the reason, and I think the real reason why a lot of low-income older baby boomer men are assholes is mainly. So I get that the silent generation was overly conservative. They were too conservative, and I think what happened is they responded in a very extreme manner. Instead of trying to moderate and kind of like balance things out, understand the merit, and then also, the wrongs of their argument, what they did is they just went to the other side, to the other extreme, and that's how they became hippies. Like, I'm not saying all the hippies were bad, but a lot of them, they didn't work for a living. They just wanted to live off.
Well, a lot of them probably were in the civil rights movement, and
that was a good thing.
Yeah.
I'll give the baby boomers credit for that. They pushed civil rights pretty well.
Yeah, because, not every baby boomer was in that mentality of, we ain't gonna do money, like they were. There's so much shit going on. There was fucking Vietnam, the Cold War, I think there was the oil crisis in the 70s. There was the civil rights movement, the hippie movement. You got all this shit going on. You can't, like, a lot of their mind, so many of them had different things on their mind that were occupied. Like, a lot of their minds were on segregation, on civil rights in general, women's rights, the war, or the wars, the Cold War, the Red Scare, just all sorts of shit, like, fuck. It just kind of, what's going on now is pretty intense, but, when you kind of put, especially the Cold War into perspective, it kind of puts a lot of us in a little, makes us look like a little, like a child's play
I understand
day.
that.
Because we aren't we're not like one push of a button away from fucking launching nukes yet. Close, but not yet.
We're getting closer to that.
Close, but not yet. Not yet.
But
we're on the way there.
What I was on my way to, I think it's also they're responding really extremely to the silent generation and their excessive restrictions. And so they just, like, it's kind of like, some people who decide to go to the left. So instead of being, conservative in the way that they were raised, which is obviously, fucked, they just decide to go way to the other side of the left, to the other extreme side, and then they suddenly just become this, genderless faggot social justice warrior.
Yeah, that's what's happening now.
But I think that happened to the baby boomer generation to some extent,
Doesn't that happen always, though? Doesn't that always happen? Because
it's called the horseshoe effect.
Yeah,
but
some people,
I think in order to finish my point, I think it stopped them from being able to actually provide for their family. Because my mom, maybe this is kind of anecdotal, but my mother, so she had 2 husbands in a row that fucked her over. One of them, like half of the time, her first husband, who was my sister's father, he was a fucking dick because half of the marriage he wasn't even working, she was, and she was working 2 fucking jobs. But then, he became a construction worker and started getting off his ass, and she thought everything was good. But then she found out that he was sleeping around with other women.
Affair.
So, part of, this was when the feminism movement, that it didn't fully take its course yet, and women weren't fully equal yet. But it was on its way. Yes.
Like the seeds were planted, like the plant was rooting.
Yes. Or no, the seeds were still starting to flower at that point. It wasn't just planted.
Sorry there.
But still, men at that time, they didn't really have as much as respect. They thought, oh, well, I could just have both. I could have a wife as long as I just hide it from her. That was his attitude. And I think that was actually the majority of the men that she grew up with. And, her second husband, my dad, he started doing worse things with her. Or he would actually take money out of her account and do other fucked up shit. And then eventually,
it was like doing drugs and shit. Like that. Yeah.
He financially fucked her over. So, as you can see, I don't really have a very good view on a lot of older baby boomer men. There are some, exceptions that there are some exceptions to that. Of like men who are older that I respect a lot. Like, my father-in-law. Or, the father of my bassist, or, the drummer in my band. those are men that I can respect because I knew that they had a sense of initiative. Because I knew that, they had the ability to provide for their families and to do what a husband and father, and their duty. That's the duty. And, with a lot of men that I grew up with, they didn't have that sense, especially not on my mother's side. Fuck them. They're cunts.
Me neither, but my whole family wasn't like that. It was just mainly my own dad, too, so we have, similar experiences. They're a little different, though, but they are, kind of similar in nature. And it's just I have similar views, so, I do have sympathies towards the feminist movement. It's just that this third-wave feminism does go too far.
It's a perversion of what feminism
I
used
would
to be.
go with the first and second wave movements. This third wave movement is far too radical, and I think that's just because, over the course of time, we do polarize from the left to the right all the time, and it's just constant. And honestly, what the fuck can you do about it?
What's fucked up about the third wave feminism and the social justice warriors is that they're actually
now it just seems to get worse.
Yeah, but here's the ironic part: they're actually misogynistic. They are actually the very thing that they seek out to destroy, because when they say
it's just the other way around, but it's okay when you do it to men.
Yeah,
it's okay when you do it to men.
Misandrist, but also they like policies that would actually coddle and keep the women from having to do any initiative. So essentially make them weak.
Well, yeah, because they need to be loved and recognized, and they're independent. And if you don't like it, you're a misogynistic pig.
I was kicked out of a bar one time, and the bartender was a bitch. She was a cunt. I'm just gonna say that. So this one lady, I just spit at the sidewalk, and so they thought that I spit at her. Bro. But this one woman's like, "You don't spit at a woman," but it's I don't discriminate with gender. I would have done the same fucking thing if she was a guy. And even then, I didn't spit on her. I spit on the fucking sidewalk.
Yeah, so it's just it's just
even
at
if
that point,
I did spit on her.
Even that point, you just have to tell.
Even if I did, if she were a man, I would have done the same fucking thing.
Yeah, at that point, just tell her.
I don't discriminate.
At that point, be like,
that.
if it was a man, I would have done the same, and I did it on sidewalk. Who gives a fuck? Piss off, ain't your problem.
They wanted to exaggerate so they can incriminate me more. Is the thing?
Yeah, because you're a white male that tries to look like a woman with your long ass hair, you faggot.
But she was trying to smear me and make me look like some misogynistic asshole, which pisses me off because I'm egalitarian.
Yeah.
I don't judge you, and that's the same thing with Hillary Clinton. I'm not a misogynist because I hate Hillary Clinton. I would love to have a woman president if she, is supporting the right policies.
Just not you, bitch.
Just not her. Fuck her. Anybody else but her. I don't care if you're a fucking Wookiee, as long as you have something that can translate what the fuck you're saying. I can't understand that. Well, then again, I don't think it'd be president because, one, it's a walking carpet. Two, it wasn't born here.
Yeah.
So that'd be against the Constitution. But that was a tangent.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to Alex Jones now, which kind of goes into a whole different perspective. So here's CNN Los Angeles on him being removed.
Bay Area tech giants are taking action against conspiracy theorist Alex Jones. YouTube, Facebook, and Apple have taken down InfoWar posts and podcasts. But now some are questioning whether the tech companies may be infringing on freedom of expression. Susie Steimley takes a look at the debate.
They staged Sandy Hook. The evidence is just overwhelming.
Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones is calling on people from all corners of the internet to fight the big tech companies who banned him today.
Apple, Facebook, Spotify, and YouTube all completely banned InfoWars within 12 hours.
That guy's
of
a
each other,
fucking
clearly
retard.
suggesting big tech collusion.
Alex Jones' conspiracy theories include 9/11 being an inside job, the idea that the government controls the weather, and that the massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary School was a hoax. Last month, reporters criticized Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg for not banning InfoWars from the platform for spreading fake news. The company maintains the decision to remove Jones's page today is not about misinformation. And
why should it be about his problem
directly?
Like, honestly, this sets a really bad precedent. Look, Alex Jones is definitely a fucking nutball. He's crazy. He's insane. He's a lunatic. He sells male vitality pills that he definitely takes on his own time and probably ODs on them occasionally from time to time. Goes through a court case with his fucking wife.
Because he's insecure about the fact that he's losing his testosterone. Like, you know, the older baby boomer men that seem to have a grudge on me for some fucking stupid-ass reason. Or that I have a grudge on, too. I think they're also jealous of the fact that I still have my hair. But anyway, yeah, he's definitely a nutcase. But, like, I really think this is an incredibly shitty move on the private companies. Because I know they're private companies. They can legally do this. Because they don't have to abide by the Constitution, sadly.
Honestly, they should. They need to. Honestly, like, if they started up in this country, shouldn't they follow the same laws of the land that
they
the
should.
normal people do?
They should.
That's why it
Even
sets a
in
very
work.
bad precedent and slippery slope. Like, this is a major problem because who's next? Are they going to go after, like...
Exactly, who's next?
Are they going to start going after Ben Shapiro, and then they're going to start going after, like... Who else is on the, you know, YouTube and shit? Like,
the point is,
Steven
don't.
Crowder, you know, Caden Crowder or whatever the fuck, you know, and then they're gonna
Crowder's
start.
too entertaining. He's too entertaining, dude.
So is Alex Jones too, dude. He's entertaining
I know
too.
that's the thing.
Took the DMT. Hitler took the DMT. Mao took the DMT.
Okay,
I mean, come on.
Let's get
Come
back
on,
on
bruh.
track just a little bit.
You know,
what
I
I'm
can't.
trying
This is
to
drunklosophy,
let's just
bro.
try and
Drunk.
okay.
Drunklosophy.
Let's
What
just
do you
try to
expect?
get back on the.
I'm drunk.
topic.
Fuck you.
Okay.
You're a fag. You're wearing a fucking collar that's not even big, like small enough for you, bitch.
I don't.
Bitch.
I don't give a shit.
Bitch. Cunt.
Hey, you've done weirder things too.
Go fuck yourself. Fuck you. You've done weird things too.
You wear a tail, bro.
Well,
you wear a tail.
You want one too, faggot. So
I don't have one.
Mutual's point. Yeah, you don't have one, but I at least have the balls enough to get one, faggot. I'm proud of mine. I'm proud of my faggotry. What about you, fuck? What about you?
Yeah. Want me
bitch.
Want me to nail you to the
Bitch.
floor and fucking kiss you hard and.
Oh boy. Oh man.
Anyway, to get back on track,
if we can,
it is a slippery slope. Like, they shouldn't censor or silence other people. Now, there were some counter arguments. The only ones that I really thought had any merit were that, you know, Alex Jones was harassing people. Yeah, for sure. And like, you know, like especially the Sandy, like the so the parents of the Sandy Hook victims are the ones who were killed. I think that was actually on the part of, you know, his audience.
Well, I mean, hold up. Like, I mean, they had to, like, move away from, like, you know, where they had lived. They had, like, change their identities at points. You know, I mean, it's actually pretty fucked up. And honestly, he should go to court for that. Alex Jones really genuinely should go to court.
Let me ask something. Was there any doxing? Was there any, like, did they actually take their phone numbers and, like, harass them via that?
Well, I mean, it's instant, but I mean, you know, for someone to incentivize his audience to go out and do these things.
Yeah, that's fucked up. I don't think he should be censored. He should have just gone to court for that.
Yeah,
and got
and
sued.
which he did by the families that, you know, had their children
He
fucking
shouldn't
massacred.
have been deplatformed, though. That was a shitty move
Which I
on
disagree
them.
with, yeah, because of the principle of free speech. Because, I mean, free speech really matters to me.
The point that I was trying to make also is with an open market of ideas, I don't necessarily think that the market should be fully open, especially not for private companies, but just like an open market of ideas that people could just exchange verbally. You know, without that freedom, you don't really have anything else. I mean, like Voltaire, one of my most favorite political philosophers, you know, as well as like Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, and all those other guys. He says something that really resonates with me to this day, and that's, I may disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it.
Yeah.
Because he was in a time where the government, you know, if you said something, I mean, imagine that. You go to prison for something that you said. That's bullshit. This is also why I hate Christianity. Like, there's this, little Bible verse where Jesus is like saying, it's worse what comes out of your mouth than what you put in it. Really? So if I put a fucking shit in my mouth, like if I literally put shit, bile, feces and like semen in my mouth and die of E. coli and various other infections and maybe AIDS, maybe the semen's infected with AIDS.
Santorum.
That's better than like saying cunt,
or faggot.
Or
faggot,
nigger, or nigger, or kike.
Canuck.
That is better than saying
Jigaboo.
that. I don't agree with that.
Jigaboo.
Because it really depends on the context of what you're saying it. Of how you're saying it. And even if you're saying the most vitriolic, awful things that you could possibly say, especially if it's like racial bigotry or like you're calling for like the Holocaust again.
Yeah.
Like, okay, sure, yeah, fuck you. You're an idiot, but you should have the right to say that. And like one of my friends, he doesn't agree to that. He thinks, oh no, it's hate speech. It's hate speech. I don't think there's any such thing as hate speech. Now, I do think, people can be, they can face legal repercussions for doxing someone. That should be done.
But doxing isn't hate speech, though.
No, doxing is a real thing that can actually physically harm someone.
Well, yeah.
Because, you're releasing where they live, their contact information, and their personal medical information, too, or blackmail. That also harms someone because you're sending them very, like medical information or like, nude photos, very personal information that people don't want, to have disclosed to the public. That should, there should be legal action with that. But censoring another person's voice, that could happen to us. That could happen to anybody.
I mean, I was there when you two were making that argument, making your debate or whatever, and honestly, like, I see his point, because if you're incentivizing people, even if you might not be, if you're incentivizing people and shit to go out and harass these people, send death threats, like actually go to these people's places and like start physically getting up in their lives and shit.
That's fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean there should be repercussions for that. I don't know if it should literally be permanent censorship. No.
Definitely not.
I think
permanent.
it needs to be like a fine,
suspension maybe at worst.
A fine, like, I don't know. Like, I mean, there needs to be repercussions, but I wouldn't do censorship. You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
yeah, I wouldn't do censorship.
I think like the best thing I could think of is like a fine or like what you were saying. I don't know what you're saying. I was cutting you off, but I'm drunk.
Like
I'm crossfaded.
Yeah, a fine or like being sued when it actually means that you've like if you've actually blackmailed someone or doxed someone.
Like, I mean, I do generally understand there should be repercussions. Like, I do think there is a thing called hate speech, but I think that falls under free speech still. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. It's still free speech. It's still speech by definition. It's free speech.
Yeah,
bitch.
I should be allowed, and I probably will do this. I should be allowed to draw a portrait of Muhammad in fucking Pikachu, because that's fucking hilarious. While Gandhi is eating a fucking big ass
horse
Carl's
cock.
Jr. burger.
Or okay, that works too. But I was going a little
and
bit more
also
explicit.
that Abraham, he's eating 6 hot dogs, and a fucking pork chop with shellfish, and while he's wearing different sets of clothes.
He's wearing denim and then also wearing this nice polyester cotton mixture t-shirt.
And then Jesus watching while his own mother, Mary is being fucked by the devil. Shit like
sucking
that.
his dick.
Oh God, that's some of the most blasphemous shit you could think. Oh, actually,
honestly,
his handholds are getting fucked by Shiva.
Honestly, we had another friend in the same kind of same area.
He had a good point, even though he's like, I don't think it's morally right that somebody should depict
Muhammad or whatever. You know what? It's not my problem.
If
you're gonna get
it's
offended,
not my problem.
Not my religion. Not my problem. It's your fucking fairy
but
tale.
He was still,
voodoo magic man in the sky.
Because he said,
no, not really. He said
no. This is what he finished with. He still said, no, I don't believe you should face any legal repercussions from that. And I think, yeah, you can do that. You can get away with it. But why do it? That's what he said.
He said
you don't have to do it.
No, like at first he said you don't have the right to, but then he kind of watered it down to you don't, why do it? But you know what? Because I can. Fuck off.
Yeah, because I can, and I can get away with it.
Why do you care? Why are you so sensitive about it?
I also gave it to his view too. I'm like, look at it this way. If there's a God that's all omnipotent and powerful, why would he care about what you
know what I said?
think?
It's like, if they're going to be so
or what you
insecure
say.
and get offended at me drawing, one of their prophets that I don't believe in,
then their faith is probably not that strong to begin with.
Yeah, and he's like, insecure, what? And I'm like, are you dense? Did you not hear what I just said?
I don't know if he took that personally or not. It sounded
probably
like he did.
and if he did, that's his problem. And you know what?
That's their problem.
I don't give a fuck. I'm an atheist, so I don't believe in your dogmatic, retarded bullshit.
I'm just a secular deist. Like, if there's a God, it's so fucking powerful that it probably isn't even aware of us.
Or gives a fuck. I mean, it has a whole... Even if it did exist, it has a whole universe to attend to. It doesn't give a shit about us. It'll come to us maybe like once in 1,000 years in our own lifetime. So even if there was a supposed Jesus that was maybe a God, maybe that was that God that, what comes around every like couple thousand years because it has this whole universe to attend to. Even if it did exist, it doesn't like a shit about us. It'll tend to us, and check up, be like, hey, how's it going? I'm your friend. I'm your neighbor from like down like the street, on the left, and and if you go down on the dead end street on the right, you'll
and
like
you go around
go on if you go around there and then hit the street and then you see the house on the right. Go to the second one down, and that's my, it's like that, it's just like you're checking up on, like, some random dude that you kind of occasionally meet from time to time that you invite to, like, your barbecue occasionally or some bullshit.
Like, what we do sometimes is, like, we'll have a subject, and then we'll have, like, a sub-subject within the sub-subject, and it just becomes, like, this, topicception I've just noticed. It's quite funny. Like, we'll go on these tangents that are actually still
so we never
part of
actually
the
talk about the main
conversation.
discussion that we're actually trying to talk about. Like, I tried to...
But
I was trying to question him on some points he was making earlier, but he just kept going on about different things. It's like...
But that's what I mean.
Like
I should be allowed to, like, do that without facing repercussions legally.
Or
socially,
morally. Honestly, I'm not morally responsible for your offense. I don't give a fuck if you're offended.
Yeah, and like, it's like that.
Seriously.
So should the radical Muslims been able to kill Charlie Hebdo? I don't think so. I don't think Charlie Hebdo should be killed. Actually, I should have brought up that argument. And there was this one faggot, I think it was like ABC or like MSNBC. It's like, that's when you're like depicting the prophet, you're like, it's like yelling fire in a movie theater. Really?
What?
Fucking really? So
are you retarded?
So actually,
Dumb
making a
cunt.
threat to public safety by scaring people into thinking that, there's something that could physically harm them, which will actually, interrupt, the main, daily grind, or at least for the employees of the movie theater, that is equal to just drawing a harmless little cartoon. The cartoon wasn't the thing that harmed people. It was the fact that a radical terrorist, took offense to this. They didn't have to take offense to this. It was their power to decide whether or not they were offended by it. Because if they really had any faith in their God, they would realize, oh, my God is so powerful, they're going to judge them in the end. I don't have to defend him. He'll do it on his own.
It just shows that they're so insecure about their religion of fallacies, especially their insecure religion of fallacies. And if they really weren't so insecure about their religious fallacy of a, fucking dogmatic propaganda machine that, that is organized religion as an entity, as a whole concept.
I mean, I don't believe in their religion for a second, but like, even being outside of whether or not you believe it, I just, they should be able to have that confidence. They should be confident about that.
But they don't, because, they need to take over, the world of infidels, because the whole world is after us, and we need to defend our religion.
The point is,
Allah.
defending an idea with violence is not an idea worth defending. That's the point I'm trying to get.
God.
You know, and I really like doubled down on the same point, but it's really a good point, you know? This is why the Founding Fathers wrote free speech. And if you try to say, oh, but we need to make some hate speech laws to amend this, then you just nullified the First Amendment.
Slope.
It's a slippery slope. That means eventually you'll be in the same scenario as, 1984. That will happen if you do this.
First they went after Alex Jones, and then they came for me.
Luckily, this is only, being done by private companies. So the government hasn't done anything about this. So thank God for that.
They should, but they should actually prevent them from continuing to do this.
They should. I think there should actually be laws where private companies should be forced to follow, the actual Constitution, the law of the land.
Yeah.
Even in their workplace. I don't think anybody should be fired for making an offensive joke. They should be based on the merit of how well they work and, whether or not they're physically harassing their employees.
Here, let's see what Facebook had to say before we move on.
Or even sexually harassing their employees.
Here, I actually had these kind of flipped around, to be honest. Let's look at what Facebook had to say, and then we'll just kind of see what CNN here just had to say, and then we'll go see what Glenn Beck is saying. So here's Facebook's statement, I guess.
Facebook said, We have taken
it down for glorifying violence and using dehumanizing language to describe people who are transgender, Muslims, and immigrants, which violates our hate speech policies. Oh, my God. So,
that sounds so social justice-y. It's just disgusting. But I mean, he was just a conspiracy theorist. That wasn't what he was. That wasn't his purpose. His purpose wasn't, oh, I'm gonna make fun of niggers on Thursday, and then tomorrow I'm gonna make fun of the transgenders and the sissy boys and the Nancy boys and the fucking girls dressing as boys too. And then I'm gonna make fun of the spicks, and then I'm gonna make fun of the that's not what his fucking purpose was.
Yeah.
His purpose was to scam people, to sell them these dumbass products. And yeah, there are a lot more people that dislike this video because a lot of people don't fucking agree. See, the overwhelming majority in the internet doesn't even like what YouTube does. And they especially, don't like Facebook. I only use Facebook because it keeps me in contact with my band. And in case that doesn't work, we can still text each other. But it's really good for sharing ideas, internet links, various other things like that. That's the only reason. Other than that, I'm not even active on Facebook.
I don't even use Facebook. I just have the app for some dumb reason. But, yeah, that was retarded. Anyway, let's go see what this is all about. I did delete everything. Yeah, okay, I'm deleting shit. Okay.
Cook's school shooting was a hoax, and that these September 11th terror attacks were an inside job by the government.
Let me say something about that Sandy Hook is a hoax thing. Fox News was saying that a lot, but you're not calling them out for that. Fox News has said all types of shit, like the exact same policies and the exact same things that Alex Jones was saying. Fox News was also saying.
The founder of InfoWars, and he is now feeling the heat himself. YouTube, Facebook, and Apple all announcing they're removing his content from their platforms. Here's how YouTube explained its decision. Quote, when users violate policies repeatedly, like our policies against hate speech and harassment or our terms prohibiting circumvention of our enforcement measures, we terminate their accounts. With me now, CNN Money's senior media reporter Oliver Darcy.
I mean, they've already done that with small channels.
They're putting him in to fill up a quota, so they can get brownie points. Oh, let's put him in here because he's, Middle Eastern, not because he's qualified to be here, but just because he's Middle Eastern. They don't judge him on his other qualities.
Said, Fuck you! We haven't even heard what he said, bitch.
I know, but it's this is what they
do.
Bitch,
though. We haven't heard what he
I'm just
said.
Predicting what they say.
We haven't heard what he said. You propagandist, conservative faggot.
Nothing against
you were just
him.
saying, I mean, you were surprised that they took this kind of action so swiftly.
Yeah, he said he was surprised. He was surprised, so I think you might have a contrarian opinion to what you're thinking, bitch.
very quickly over the past 24 hours. It seems to really have been prompted perhaps by Apple. Apple last night removed the entire library of Alex Jones's podcasts from their store. And then we've seen throughout the day actually, tech platforms just basically remove Alex Jones from their websites after Apple removed the podcast.
Look at that picture of Alex Jones. He's like, oh shit. Hold on, let me go back. He's like, oh fuck, I'm getting fucked.
I fucked up.
Removed the
I done
podcast,
fucked up.
And Facebook came out this morning.
I
and
need to
actually
now
really
sell
early
male
this morning,
vitality more
and
than
they
ever.
said They had unpublished InfoWars and other pages associated with Alex Jones.
Yeah.
And then YouTube, which had previously issued some sort of suspension effectively where they couldn't live stream, decided to remove their YouTube page altogether. And now we're just kind of seeing other tech platforms, small ones even, just dissociate with Alex Jones.
Obviously, what he spews is hate and it's abhorrent, but how many folks are on the other side saying freedom of speech?
A lot of people are, particularly Jones's defenders, are saying that they're worried that this might lead to other pages,
I don't defend
particularly
him.
Conservative media.
But I still think he should have the right to say his piece.
I defend his speech, not what he actually says, or the person himself.
Pages being removed. I think it's important to note, though, that Alex Jones had really flagrantly violated a lot of the community standards that YouTube, that Facebook, that Apple have had in place for quite some time. And actually, if you look at it, they say that they removed them because they violated the standards, but Alex Jones had been violating these standards for some time.
Yeah.
And they only actually took action after weeks of media pressure, after weeks of the media outlets saying, you know, you say that this would violate your standards, so why is this still being allowed to be posted? And so Apple was the first at the bat this morning, or last night, sorry, with removal of his content, and now we're seeing it trickle out.
So it was
today.
Apple and then the domino effect. Oliver Darcy, thank you so much.
Thank you, Brooke.
Well, that really wasn't
I hated
much.
how like smug she was. They didn't really take a position on it because, you know, they're CNN. They like to pretend that they're non-biased.
Yeah.
You know,
Wasn't really much there, but that was.
But
kinda
yeah,
boring.
it didn't really give us any more information than, you know, what we already knew.
Yeah, but now we got the Blaze to come up here pretty soon.
So let us show this clip, and
yeah,
we should probably go about some other business, from what I imagine.
Yeah.
I think if you've listened to me for very long, you know exactly how I feel about Alex Jones. I don't like Alex Jones. I think Alex Jones is a dangerous man. I think Alex Jones has, I think there's a possibility in listening to him that he has a serious, you know, some sort of mental condition.
To be honest, I really do think that's kind of true. I do
So-
think he has a mental condition, Alex Jones.
Glenny boy, why do you not like Alex Jones? Is it because, you know, he's competition? Because, you know, maybe he was making more money than you were?
Wait. Are you saying Glenn Beck's competition to somebody?
Maybe.
Who is he competition to? Rush Limbaugh?
No. I'm not saying that Glenn Beck is actually any type of competition.
Or at least
It's
any
just-
viable
no,
one.
What I'm saying is he's losing competition. He's losing competition against Alex Jones because Alex Jones is getting more views, and to the alt-right, he was looking more credible. That's what I'm trying to say.
That he's over the edge, in my opinion.
You could say without the millions of dollars, Alex Jones is the guy.
Oh, really?
You know, I mean,
he's over the edge?
Yeah, he's over the edge, Glenn. I mean, I do agree, but Glenn,
But
you're
you
also over
aren't?
the edge. You fucking
You aren't
you
over the
wash out. You wash out old pedophile looking fuck with your younger pedophile clone.
Corner
And
with
your,
the megaphone. The
pink
problem with that
face.
analysis is that
Jesus Christ.
with the
Yeah, let's go
millions of
back on
dollars,
him.
He's the guy on the corner with the megaphone.
Correct. Okay, so now
Hey, look at him. He is like a pinkish orange, dude. What the fuck? What the fuck is?
He constantly looks like he was just caught with like terabytes of child porn. That's what
He
his
probably
face
does have
looks
some in the
like
background.
constantly. Oh God. Who knows? This is
Jamaica
mere
World
conjecture.
F-179th Street, Jamaica World Trade Center. I've been to Jamaica. did not smoke weed because I'm a good Christian man, and I'm a traditional conservative. I have a stripper pole in my basement here. In
Oh
my
no, that's
basement
not a
dungeon.
stripper pole.
That's for the gay strippers that I have here at late night
No,
parties
it's
that
supposed
no
to
one
be-
no, shut the fuck up. No one knows about these gay strippers, but you know, it looks like just a pole that holds up to help. It helps the beam, supports the roofing, or the floor above. You know, it supports the stairs, but no, it's actually a gay stripper pole. I get some gay twink boys, to dance along, and I get them to suck my short little chubby or short little chode dick, because I am a Glenn Beck.
People have been suing him, and I think, rightfully so, if, they've been slandered or libeled and some of the stuff he's done has just been despicable, just despicable. However, now he's being taken off of Facebook. He's being taken off of Apple iTunes.
Those are by the way, those are two big breaking stories over the past 24 hours. They removed 4 of his podcasts off of iTunes and removed his...
But only 4? They're not taking him entirely.
There's one program, for whatever reason, didn't get pulled. It's called, like, News Night or something.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's a different...
So I think Spotify mainly took down, like, the Sandy Hook shows, like the ones that had the Sandy Hook things involved in it. So I think Spotify was more specific and probably a little bit more honest with their pullage than the other companies. So I think Spotify is the only one that did it relatively credible, but I don't know what shows they pulled because I don't give a fuck. But it seems like they did it a little better. They didn't just pull him.
They still censored him.
Well, they didn't pull him. They just pulled the shows that were in question. You know what I mean?
That still censors him though.
Well, I mean, if you're doing libel and defamation, which I think he is doing in those, I would make an exception for those specific shows, or at least the segments that were in there. You know what I mean? At least the segments.
Mainly because he was blaming the parents for being like crisis actors or some
and
stupid
the children
shit.
too, like and also how it's all staged, and also it's pretty fucked. I mean, it really is fucked.
They should have just kept it with him being sued and not, I think it was really shitty that YouTube and all these other companies just decided to ban him outright.
Yeah, banning him outright is definitely a no-no.
I don't think it was right for him to do that either. But again, censorship is a slippery slope.
It really is. It
and
truly,
this is not just the slippery slope fallacy. Like, if you allow gay marriage, you'll allow animal marriage or child marriage. No, okay, that's just two consenting adults.
That's also a false dilemma.
Yeah, it is. It's
falsely.
I just made that as an example. I know, Bill O'Reilly made a dog shit argument about if you allow gay marriage, then I could just marry a turtle. No, you fucking idiot. I mean, Bill O'Reilly was never smart in any way. He was always a fucking dipshit.
But doesn't deal in the same types of stuff Alex Jones does. It's not hosted by Alex Jones. It's hosted by somebody else. And then they also have 4 pages from InfoWars and Alex Jones were taken down, which are the Alex Jones channel, the Alex Jones page, the InfoWars page, and the InfoWars nightly news page. So
if you, yesterday, were looking for Alex Jones, you may have found him. Today, you're not going to find him. I mean, a celebration in some regard for, common decency. However...
I mean, it's damn, YouTube went out after all the channels, not just Jones himself, but every channel of InfoWars, dude.
Even my other favorite Lancashire conservatard, Paul Joseph Watson, they got rid of him too. Do you remember all the funny shit he said? The funniest thing he said was conservatism is the new counterculture. That was the funniest
also
fucking thing I've ever heard.
That Ben Shapiro faggot says too.
Yeah,
which is not so. Traditionalism is the new counterculture. What? That doesn't make sense. That's a fallacy. You're a fucking retard.
That just is a contradictory
You're a moron.
statement.
You're a cunt bag. You're a jigaboo. Whoa.
Oh, also, okay. Do you know? Okay, can you give me a rundown of because I know that Glenn Beck's on the right, but where is he on the right? Is he authoritarian?
He's an authoritarian theocrat.
Okay, so
Christian
does
fundamentalist.
Does he value, like, you know, free speech and the Constitution, or at least pretend to?
Pretend to, yeah.
So he's a fucking hypocrite
Yeah.
because he's trying to call off for common decency. But if he really like fucking supports the Constitution, he shouldn't just celebrate the fact that somebody lost his right to do so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's bullshit. He's a hypocrite.
very sad day for freedom of speech.
Okay.
Nice mics, though. And by the way, nice, yeah, sure.
He just contradicted himself.
Now,
in like a couple of seconds,
iTunes and Facebook, they're private corporations. They can do whatever they want. They can make it up as they go if they want. I don't like it.
Yeah, Tyler, they can.
But they're a private corp.
Didn't you say the same thing,
I don't think they should do that, though. I think there should be laws put in place where they should actually follow the laws of the land.
Oh. So, like, actually upholding the Constitution.
Yeah.
What? I never knew that was a thing. You can do that?
Employers.
Wait, you can do that?
Have way too much power.
What? Whoa.
They can just fire somebody for not even liking their haircut.
Whoa.
They could fire somebody for, you know, just being offended by a joke they told. I think it's fucking bullshit. You know, workplace banter, especially when you're not in the general public. Now, I guess it's one thing if you work in retail and you have to deal with customers and you, like, you know, you just cuss out a customer and you don't make them feel like, you know, they're accommodated for. Yeah, I can see why you'd get fired. But, like, if you're not in the general public, you're, like, in a machine shop or you're stocking or, you know, you're doing something that people, you know, shoppers don't see or the general public doesn't see, I don't think you should be fired for having, you know, some workplace banter that, you know, like maybe you just told a joke on your break, you know, like you're just in the break room when you're not operating heavy machinery. It's bullshit. Employers should not be allowed to fire people for that kind of shit. Sexual harassment, physical bullying, fuck yeah. Go ahead and, you know, fire them for that. But I just think employers have too much power when it comes to reasons to fire people. You know, it's fucked up. They shouldn't be infringing on free speech in that kind of way.
Goddamn.
They should judge them on the merit of how well they're working.
So if they decide that's what they want to do, well, they're a private corporation, and we don't have anything to say about it unless we make them into a utility, which is really bad. Because once we make them into utility, well, good heavens. Now you've got the federal government deciding.
The federal government is ran by the Constitution, or at least it's implied that it is. So it'll be free speech. Yeah, so it should be utility, you fucking retard.
Yeah, but
Fucking
in some
retard,
aspects,
Glenn
I
Beck, the
kind of
washout, read the bee.
There was like
Arena
only
bee.
one thing I could agree on that part. You know, like, yeah, it's bad for free speech. I just can't, like, the problem is that he just contradicts himself. But I don't think the federal government's actually being involved in doing this. These were all private companies that did
the internet
this.
should be utilized because honestly,
Oh,
I
it
view
should
it as
be
a utility.
utilized.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Like it
What's wrong
should
with
be
that?
open to the public. You shouldn't have to like pay any
Fucking
kind
retard.
of fee, you know, to be able to access a certain site. They should all have the equal speed and equal bandwidth for every single site that you access.
Pretending my mouse is like my fist and I'm punching him across the fucking face. Faggot. This bloated washout.
Who's good, who's bad?
And how ridiculous would that be? As soon as it was a utility, it would start being run terribly, and everyone would bail on it anyway. And then there would be a new site that everyone went to.
Retard.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it's a
Retard
silly
alert.
solution.
Retard
So it won't
alert
work.
class.
Now, he hasn't been taken.
Oh, so do you think the better solution would be to have, like, you know, a private ISP or, you know, a fucking monopoly on each little, you know, local section to essentially just, you know, force people to bribe them for being able to access a certain site. Oh, this
wait.
site doesn't agree to our narrow viewpoint, so we're gonna have to ask you to pay more money to be able to access this.
Oh, wait. We already have that. You want to know what prevented that? Net neutrality.
Yeah. So they're literally just kind of talking against net neutrality, which actually would also hurt their point for free speech. Because like here's the thing about like ISPs, internet service providers. What like it's actually a local monopoly. And I even like remember studying this, in even with cable too. It depends on the actual region. Because you'll have these businesses that do this, and they don't really have any competition in other places. In that one local town or that suburb, they're the only company there.
Yep.
They don't have competition, so technically they are a monopoly.
Yeah, which is why net neutrality is such an important thing, because that at least makes it ran somewhat like utility, or at least it's implied it will be.
They're probably going to say, like, oh, because it allows the free market, and they can compete, but there's no fucking competition. So how's it a free market?
Oh wait, but I don't like the free market when it affects me, like Alex Jones being polled.
Yeah, that's like, what about the free market of ideas? That should be the one free market that everybody should support.
Which is why it's such a slippery slope argument, man.
And see, like, yeah, it's the same thing with Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro, he says, oh, he's pro free speech, because at least fucking Richard Spencer was actually honest one day about not being honest about supporting free speech.
Because he's a neo-Nazi fascist.
Yeah, but he only said it because it was convenient for him. Same thing with Ben Shapiro, because, like, he was pro free speech and whatnot. And then suddenly, like, Rosie O'Donnell says the most benign thing, like, suck my dick, Ben. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Rosie O'Donnell had a dick, because she's fucking ugly. Sometimes I can't even tell what gender. I assume she. I assume she, because everybody else calls her a she. So I'm like, I guess I could pass as a woman. I don't know. But like,
assuming her gender, as always, Tyler, you misogynist faggot.
What he does is he decides to file a harassment charge on her. Way to go, Ben. Way to fucking contradict yourself, you bitch.
Free speech
and
where it applies.
It's not like she doxed him. It's not like, he like sent a nude photo of like his tiny little Tic Tac, micro penis to everybody to see in the world. Or like, him getting cucked, while, watching, wearing a Superman t-shirt while, watching his wife get fucked by a big Negro. No. She didn't do anything like that. She just said a benign comment. So, I don't know, like, are you kidding? He's gonna be offended by that. Isn't he the guy who said facts don't care about feelings? Well, what about, and suddenly your feelings are more important than everybody else's? Fucking hypocrite. I swear, fuck Ben Shapiro. He's a cuck. He's a kike cuck. That's what he is. Fuck him.
A cucked up kike. Shapiro alert. Wee. Shapiro alert. Shapiro alert.
I use a lot of racial slurs. Maybe I shouldn't have called him a kike, but like seriously, I can't. I want to call him.
Who gives a fuck? Free speech.
I know.
That's the premise of this argument, bitch.
I just wish there was a word that I could express my vitriol and hatred. That was just good enough for that, but there just aren't any words good enough for that. It's like all the words that I've used, they're so benign now. Like, if they're said so much to the point where it just depletes them of value. You know what I mean? Like, and that's also why I support free speech, because I say shit like faggot all the time and all this offensive shit. Heavy metal. That's my favorite fucking genre in the world. Like, if we allow people to be deplatformed, what's gonna happen to the fucking metal genre? The metal genre relies on being offensive by nature and being vulgar. You take that away, that's going to be a slippery slope. That's going to anger a lot of fucking metalheads. Antifa already shut down a show in Marduk because they threatened, with violence. The police had to actually get involved. So, like, you do that shit because, Antifa's known for instigating shit. Yeah, sure. But you allow them to have a say on what people are allowed to say or not, then fuck you. Dude, you're going to instigate more violence because, for some people who are metalheads, this is an outlet for them. And if they don't have that outlet to actually express their aggression and their anger, it's an art for them. they don't have that. They're just gonna take that on something else.
Violence and anarchy.
Yeah. You don't want that violence to occur. Like, you cancel a metal show, like, say, like, all these thousands of people go to see Megadeth, you suddenly tell the audience that that show's being canceled because some fucking faggot got triggered by it. You bet. I would bet $3 million and my fucking left testicle that there would be a riot. There would be a fucking riot. I swear to God. Dude, like, you do not want to see a metalhead when he's angry. You know, when a show's been canceled, they will get fucking violent. And that's really the only time they will get violent. Because they'll beat the fucking shit out of you.
This is why we have TK over here listen and play metal music, because it makes sure the berserker inside him is not unleashed. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
It keeps me from going to jail.
Off the internet. The problem is, though,
at least we're honest.
You need a provider. You need a platform to be able to have a place on the internet, and the platforms are kicking him off. Which, again, because they're private, they have.
Is this on? Okay, it's on. I was trying to get it on.
Okay, we're going to give a pass to the private, corporations and the businesses because they allow the free market to occur.
God, just fuck Glenn Beck, dude. Why did he even pull him? I didn't even realize this was him until it's too late.
You know that that quote from JFK when he said, like, making a
I just realized Sargon made a video too. Dude, everyone is just making videos about
including
Alex
us,
dude.
Including us. We're just trying to get onto the little cash cab here.
I know. I mean, I want to like.
Or not
there's a lot we could have.
cash cab.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Attention cab, or attention grab.
Yeah, I mean, we could really go on forever about this, but I mean, there's so many different videos about Alex Jones. I mean, even Kyle did one. I mean, look at this beautiful, like, I mean,
he's filming from his car. That's different.
Yeah, but guess what? You have to drive a car with legs, don't you? Well, Kyle doesn't have legs. Guess what he's using? He's using one of those automated self-driving cars.
Oh my God, he must be
sponsored by Big Seltzer, dude. Dude, Big Seltzer just gifted that to him. Keep his mouth shut, to keep perpetuating his leg narrative. So here, let me just pull it, dude. Here, we're gonna do like a little conspiracy.
Getting to some pretty Orwellian territory, and I agree.
So here I am, ready to do the show. Kind of excited for today's show
So look at his shades. Let's just look at the shades. Let's just skip a little bit. Yeah, because he talks about Alex Jones too, so that doesn't matter. But you see this? You think this is the wheel, right? And that you would think would be a leg, correct? You think it would be. Oh, what? You see that though? See that? You can't really see it too much. But the thing is, you want to know why? It's because first of all,
oh my God,
the sunglasses are reflecting a hologram that's being portrayed right here. Right below where this where the dashboard and everything is. It's a hologram. Like, oh shit. Doofus. Fuck you, Kyle.
That could refer to a lot of people.
Yeah. Kyle, out of context, call me a doofus. I'm offended. Censor him.
Like Gavin McInnes.
Yeah, I'm gonna censor him, dude. Fuck him. He called me a doofus, dude.
I'm so triggered.
How do I report this? He offended me, dude.
We're going.
He offended me, dude.
You faggot.
This promotes terrorism, dude.
Oh God.
Time selected. I'm gonna do 501, dude. Yeah, he's offensive to me, dude. He called me a doofus.
I don't know if you want to take a chance. YouTube actually might take this seriously.
Dude, promoting terrorism, calling me a doofus.
You're so easily offended, you little bitch.
I'm not actually gonna report it. I'm just kidding, dude.
I know.
But bruh, the conspiracy runs strong, bro. There's no way he has real legs. No way. Anyway, I think that's all we got, though.
Yeah.
Not really much.
We didn't come up with
I
other
mean, I
ideas.
was gonna have like a little chat and shit, but it's really late night, so we only really had time to do this stuff. though, tomorrow I'll probably have a little batch of videos as well, which includes some discussions. I want to just, just shoot the shit, talk to you guys with. I think I'll have this screen up where normally it's just like, the browser, but it's probably just going to be like, the pictures for us. And I think I'll have my camera set up then too. If I get my USB hub for my laptop, so I can just have all my USB cables hooked up to that thing, and I can get my camera set up. So that'd be cool. But anyway, let me get this fucking back up. Well, wow, Inception,
Wow.
Inception. I got
Okay,
a
they
porn
get it.
game in the corner.
What?
Yes, I do.
Why would you have porn games?
Dude, I'm not afraid to admit it, bitch. I'm not afraid to
at
admit
least
that.
as long as they don't
faggot.
see like genitalia in the video itself.
Well, good luck. Well, luckily it's just an icon now, is it, bitch? Here's like all my other videos too. I need to get this all in files and stuff. I need to really organize my shit, dude. They can't even see it. They're just seeing the.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering.
Here it is. Like I have all my Ignarisms on. I need to get this all in the files. Goddamn, dude. Anyway.
Yeah, he's got no shame.
No shame indeed. Anyway, guys,
Which is
fuck
fine.
you. Fuck all of you. You're beautiful, but sometimes
he wants to fuck all of you.
Shut up.
You know you want.
I have
to.
people of all ages and sizes and views and shit.
Not
I'm not
quite
taking
yet.
that chance. Yeah, dude. I have someone who's like 60, someone who's like the same age as me, someone who's like
Oh.
25. I mean, fuck.
I can't picture you banging a 60-year-old. That's
God
just
damn no.
ew.
I'm sorry. I love the dude. He's dope as fuck. He's cool. But no, man, I am not about that. I'm a little bit more on the I'm a more looking on the younger side, like 18 to like like 30. That's about my maximum. So,
Oh, you don't want to go for those cougars?
well, for
Older
females,
cougars?
I would, yeah. But that's just depending on themselves. But anyway, that's going to a different thing. I'm drunk as fuck. Fuck you. Peace out. This is Ignar and
Drunklosophy. He's that drunk.
Drunklosophy, bitch.
This is how we roll. This is how we roll. This is how we roll. This is drunklosophy.
And
Honestly, this is what my philosophy is. It's a drunklosophy
to
going with
revere
ignorance.
Alex Jones, I'm gonna say an incredibly, like renowned quote from him. They're putting chemicals in the water, making the freaking frogs gay. Yeah.